Real life in Laos, the world's cheapest country. Laos is unlike the countries you usually see on postcards. It doesn't scream for attention. It doesn't promise a perfect dream or a glamorous escape. It simply exists. Quietly, slowly, brutally real. Hidden in the heart of Southeast Asia, Laos has no coastline, no global power, no skyscrapers dominating the horizon. It doesn't demand that anyone notice it. And yet, for those who come here, life feels astonishingly rich. Walking through the streets of Vientiane, Luang Prabang, or the smaller riverside towns, the first thing you notice is the pace. People move deliberately. Shops open and close according to the sun, not a clock. The air is filled with the scent of grilled meats, sticky rice, and sometimes smoke from burning wood. Motorbikes hum softly along narrow streets, mingling with the laughter of children. There is no rush. There is no hurry. Time seems different here. Laos is one of the cheapest countries in the world. According to global travel data, a foreigner can live comfortably on less than $1,000 per month. A meal at a local restaurant costs only a few dollars. Rent, even in cities, barely scratches the budget. Electricity, internet, and transportation are all incredibly affordable compared to Western standards. For many travelers and expats, this affordability feels almost surreal. The same money that once barely covered rent in a Western city can fund a full lifestyle here. Rent, food, leisure, travel, and sometimes even a small motorbike for local exploration. Yet, cheap doesn't mean empty. In Laos, simplicity is abundant. Life outside the cities, in particular, shows this. Mountain villages remain largely unchanged from decades past. Wooden houses sit on stilts above the earth, often with bamboo walls and metal roofs that rattle in the monsoon rains. Animals roam beneath homes. Smoke drifts lazily from cooking fires. Water is carried by hand from nearby streams or wells. There is no luxury here, at least not by Western standards. But there are no complaints either. Life is survival, accepted as it is, carried out with quiet dignity. The strength of Lao women is central to this reality. Women here are the backbone of society. From sunrise to sunset, they work tirelessly. They carry water, cook meals, raise children, trade in local markets, and manage households with care and skill. Their beauty is not in cosmetics or branded clothing, but in their calm confidence, soft movements, and quiet strength. Many still use coconut oil on their skin rather than makeup, and their smiles feel genuine, unforced, and warm. Even in urban areas, modern Lao women balance tradition and progress. They work online, study abroad, build careers, and cultivate independence, all while maintaining the grace and poise valued in their culture. They are not loud, boastful, or arrogant. Instead, they embody balance, a harmony between heritage and modernity, simplicity and sophistication. Laos carries scars from a violent past. Few know that it is the most heavily bombed country per capita in human history. Between 1964 and 1973, over 270 million bombs were dropped across the country, with more than 80 million remaining unexploded today. Fields, villages, and paths still hide these dangerous remnants. And yet, rather than succumbing to fear, the people adapted. Bomb casings became tools, decorative items, and even art. Weapons were turned into means of survival. This is a society that learned resilience in the harshest ways imaginable. Sticky rice is at the heart of Lao life. It is eaten with hands, shared among family and friends. Markets overflow with grilled meats, papaya salad, spicy soups, and foods many tourists would never imagine. Fried insects, ant eggs, and wild herbs that tingle or numb the tongue. This is food not made for comfort, but for survival, and it works. Eating here is as much a cultural ritual as it is nourishment. At the core of Lao philosophy is the idea of bo penyang, which translates roughly to "it's okay." Life is not rushed. Anger is rare. Obsession with control is absent. People bathe together in rivers, help one another without judgment, and replace pride with simplicity. Peace is a daily practice. Ego is minimized. Happiness is found in the small, everyday moments. Despite the tranquility, Laos contains contrasts. Rivers glow softly at night in small towns, with lanterns, street food, and families eating together. Laughter drifts lazily through the air. Yet near the borders, another Laos emerges. Casinos, neon lights, and fast money tempt travelers and locals alike. Serenity and temptation coexist, a reminder that even the calmest places have shadows and allure. Life in Laos is not only about survival and simplicity, it is also about connection. Families are central to society. Multi-generational households are common, with grandparents, parents, and children living under the same roof. Meals are shared, stories are told, and lessons from elders are passed down naturally. Respect for tradition is evident in daily life, from morning alms given to monks to the careful maintenance of homes and communal spaces. Education is valued, even in remote areas. Children often walk long distances to school, and despite limited resources, teachers are dedicated. Learning is not just academic, it includes practical skills, cultural knowledge, and moral guidance. Lao children grow up understanding the importance of community, cooperation, and resilience. Rural life may seem slow to outsiders, but it is far from idle. Farmers tend to rice paddies, fish in rivers, and care for animals. Work is physical and often grueling, yet it is balanced by deep knowledge of the land and its cycles. Seasons dictate activity. The rainy season brings planting and harvesting, while the dry season allows time for repairs, festivals, and family gatherings. Laos is also rich in spiritual life. Theravada Buddhism shapes everyday routines, from meditation and temple visits to festivals that celebrate both the seasons and the spirits of ancestors. Temples are not just places of worship but community centers where education, charity, and social life converge. Monks, often young men who temporarily dedicate themselves to religious life, are deeply respected. The sight of saffron robes moving through towns in the early morning is a quiet reminder of a culture steeped in mindfulness and humility. Nature is never far away in Laos. The landscape is a patchwork of rivers, mountains, forests, and valleys. The Mekong River, which runs through much of the country, is the lifeblood of communities along its banks. Fishing, transport, and daily chores revolve around it. Wildlife thrives in the forests, from monkeys and elephants to countless bird species, while waterfalls, caves, and natural pools offer places for relaxation and reflection. Despite being landlocked and relatively small, Laos has a sense of openness. The friendliness of the people is immediately apparent. Travelers often comment on the smiles, polite greetings, and willingness to help strangers. Hospitality is not a performance, but a genuine expression of cultural values. Inviting someone for tea, sharing a meal, or guiding a lost visitor are small acts, yet they speak volumes about Lao warmth and humanity. Economic life is complex. While the country is cheap, many families rely on multiple income sources. Agriculture dominates, but small businesses, trade, and crafts supplement income. Handicrafts, weaving, wood carving, silverwork, are both cultural expression and livelihood. Tourists and locals alike value these products, and they help maintain traditional skills. Markets are vibrant, full of color, scents, and sounds. Vendors call out their goods, children weave between stalls, and the atmosphere is alive yet unhurried. Life in Laos is also shaped by history. The scars of war remain visible, not just in the land but in the memories of the people. Between 1964 and 1973, Laos became a central battlefield in the so-called Secret War, during which over 270 million bombs were dropped. That number is staggering, especially for a country with a population of just a few million at the time. Even now, more than 80 million unexploded ordnances remain buried across the countryside. Yet the Lao people did not surrender to fear. Instead, they adapted. Bomb casings were transformed into tools, art, and decorations. Weapons became farming implements or household items. What could have been purely a source of tragedy turned into a demonstration of resilience, creativity, and survival. Children grow up learning to navigate the land carefully, educated by both parents and community programs about how to stay safe while living amid these remnants. Food culture in Laos is another reflection of adaptation and resourcefulness. Sticky rice eaten with hands forms the core of every meal. It is often shared communally, fostering connection and cooperation. Side dishes range from grilled meats and papaya salad to spicy soups and fermented vegetables. Tourists often find the inclusion of insects, ant eggs, and unusual herbs shocking, yet locals see them as nutritious, seasonal, and essential parts of survival. Eating in Laos is practical, communal, and deeply tied to the land and its cycles. In the cities, life moves differently but still retains a gentle rhythm. Vientiane and Luang Prabang are hubs of culture, commerce, and administration, yet they avoid the chaotic intensity of larger metropolises. Coffee shops, small restaurants, and night markets coexist with temples and government offices. Modernity enters carefully, Motorbikes, cell phones, and the occasional neon sign sit alongside centuries-old traditions, creating a unique blend of past and present. Lao philosophy and daily life are intertwined in ways that outsiders may not immediately grasp. Bo Penyang, the idea that it's okay, guides behavior, encourages patience, and diminishes stress. Conflict is rare, anger is controlled, and cooperation is valued over individual triumph. People bathe together in rivers, help neighbors without expectation, and approach life with a quiet acceptance. Ego, pride, and competition are often secondary to community, balance, and harmony. Even the nightlife and entertainment of Laos are understated. Riverside towns glow softly at night, lanterns reflecting in calm waters, families gathering for meals, laughter traveling slowly in the humid air. Near the borders, however, another side of Laos emerges. Casinos, neon lights, and fast money cater to different desires and temptations. Serenity and risk exist side by side, a reminder that even the calmest places hold contrasts. Transportation in Laos is simple but effective. Most locals rely on motorbikes, bicycles, or walking. Buses connect towns and villages, and rivers remain an essential mode of travel. Roads can be rough and travel slow, yet the journey itself is part of the experience. Passing through forests, rice paddies, mountains, and small towns gives travelers a constant connection to life outside the cities. Laos is not a paradise, and it is not perfect. It is a country of contrasts, where the serene and the chaotic coexist, where tradition meets subtle modernity, and where the past is never far from the present. Yet, it offers something rare in today's fast-paced world: time, calm, and a life that feels richer despite its low cost. In the quiet riverside towns, lanterns glow softly at night, families share meals, and laughter drifts slowly through the warm air. In the mountains and forests, people live in harmony with nature, following rhythms set by the seasons and the land. In cities, modern life blends with age-old traditions, creating a unique cultural tapestry. Laos teaches lessons about resilience, community, and simplicity. Its people show how to live fully without excess, how to adapt to challenges with creativity and dignity, and how to value peace over pride. From the strength of Lao women to the resourcefulness born of hardship, from sticky rice to riverside festivals, every detail reflects a life lived intentionally, quietly, and meaningfully. And so the question remains: if you could choose a life that is peaceful, simple, slow, and rich in ways that money cannot buy, would you choose Laos? Would you embrace time, calm, and community over speed, wealth, and endless distraction? This is real life in Laos. Not flashy, not perfect, but profoundly human. A life that costs less and feels more. A life that teaches the value of presence, patience, and humility. A life that, for those willing to see it, offers a kind of freedom that is rare anywhere in the modern world.